This is my MS story. Pain, tremors, spasticity, IBS, brain fog, neuropathy, fatigue, depression/anxiety, nausea, brain switch which caused anorexia, insomnia, tinnitus, heat or humidity intolerant, which we didn't talk about, hurts to touch skin, inflammation, compromised immune system, ice pick headaches, reoccurring sinus infection, continuous becoming antibiotic resistant, and I'm sure there's more.
So what we'd like to do here is do a little testimony of Erin's issue, the monkey on her back, and it's called multiple sclerosis. When did you first find out you had multiple sclerosis?
I don't know the exact date, but I believe it was either 1999 or 2000. I was sitting at work. We had mandatory breaks because what we did was very repetitious. And we were standing up stretching, and my best friend stood up, turned around, and looked at me and literally said, "What the F is wrong with your eye?" And I was like, "I don't know." So I went in the bathroom, and it was drooping. So what's my first thought? My first thought is, there's something wrong with my eyes. So obviously my first instinct was go to the eye doctor. He looked at me, he looked at my eye, there was nothing wrong with my eyesight, and told me, "I hate to say this, but you either have a brain tumor or you have MS." You know, I was, 30? A little over 30, you know, with a kid, and that's just not what you want to hear, obviously.
You were diagnosed.
Right.
You remember that?
Yeah. I mean, obviously the results came back from it, and there were lesions on my brain and my spine, and the spinal tap came back positive as well, and said, just live like you do every day. If you let this MS get you and take you down, it will take you down. So I lived that way for many, many years. I wouldn't even acknowledge it. I didn't tell people.
So MS is a condition where our nerves have a protective coating around them, at least certain nerves, and it's called the myelin sheeting. And MS is an autoimmune disease, as far as I understand it, where the immune system begins to attack that sheeting. They don't know why, really, but it breaks it down. And then when the nerve impulses go through those nerves, they don't go through smooth.
Right.
They don't go through normal. They get boggled and jumbled or short circuit. And it tends to affect the nerves of the spine and brain, right?
Correct. And I don't think people realize that your brain is where everything starts. Your brain tells you to go to the bathroom. Your brain tells you to lift your arms and legs. Your brain, it's somewhere in there in different spots that tell you to do different things. And so if you get a lesion on that particular part of your brain, your body's going to do all kinds of funky things, and you're not going to know why until you start to experience it.
And what type? There's different types of MS. What were you diagnosed with?
I have relapsing remitting, meaning I can have good days and then go into a relapse and have bad days. Sometimes the relapses can be short, a day or two, a week or two. Sometimes it can be a month or months with just maybe one symptom or multiple symptoms. It was slow at the beginning. Well, at the very beginning, I do remembering having tremors a lot. I would, we'd take our lunches to work, and usually I used to take like cereal. And I quit doing that because I was too embarrassed to try to get the spoon up to my mouth, because I was shaking so bad. And I was still trying to hide it at that time. I wasn't really concerned about it. about the disease, or I didn't think I was. I think I just shoved it in the back of my mind and thought this is something I can live with.
And as far as your latest MRIs, you have not progressed anymore.
No, I have no new lesions, no active
Now,
lesions.
what are lesions?
They are the spots on the brain
Or the spine.
or the spine that were affected.
And I looked at them. I had the dot. I'm like, let me see what these look like. And I thought they were going to be like little tiny spots. They were actually a little bigger than I thought. And he pointed them to me, said, these are them. They were like the size of a dime.
Now, mind you, just because there's no active or new lesions doesn't mean that the ones that are there are still not doing damage, because they are. For me, it's hard because there's something called the JC virus, which almost every person has but aren't even aware of it, and you don't really need to be aware unless you have this.
Makes it limited to what you can take.
Yeah, so if you take a certain medication, and it's not just MS medications, and you are JC positive, you can get an irreversible brain disease.
It's supposedly horrible.
That can actually kill you.
You
can't reverse it. So if you're JC positive, any MS people, make sure before you take any type of medication, make them do the labs and make sure you don't have the JC virus, and don't take it lightly.
So let's get to symptoms. As of these days, this is what Erin deals with.
And these are pretty much every day, or at least throughout the week. So pain every single day, from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed. Pain meaning anywhere from it's hard to walk, or pain meaning I can't even touch my legs or my arms or shave my legs because it feels like there's razors, or just touching them is just very painful. So it's different types of pain. It's not just internal, it's topical. It's very hard to describe. Tremors, again, off and on, more so at the onset when I was first diagnosed. I still have them a little bit. If I do, I try not to concentrate on them because it makes it worse. I try to just dismiss it. Spasticity. A lot of jerking of the legs, unwanted movements. And I know, many people have them. It's that feeling of when you're falling asleep and you have that little jerk before you fall asleep. Yeah, with MS patients, you have them all the time.
And they can be pretty
it could be your shoulder, or it could be your leg. It just it just kicks. It just happens. Irritable bowel. It's something people don't like to talk about. Well, it does happen. I'm now disabled, and most of my disability is because of the irritable bowel. There's nothing like having to take 10 Imodium, literally, to get through your work day so you don't have an accident at work, which I did at 2 different employers. Extremely humiliating. Luckily, nobody saw it. Luckily, I have very good friends that helped me out in those times, grabbed my purse, grabbed my phone, told my supervisor, grab my keys, and got me out of there. Most people would never admit that happens, but it does happen. You don't ever know if you can plan on going out to dinner or go to a family member's, anywhere, because you don't know if you eat something, what's going to happen.
Well, I know that you have to spend, 2 or 3 hours first thing every day when you wake up. You're basically in and out of the bathroom.
Pretty much.
Every day.
Pretty much.
And you can't do something like this until you're good and ready.
No. If I have an appointment or if I have plans, I have to get up at least 2 hours, 3 hours before the appointment. So to make sure that all the bathroom issues are taken care of, and shower and whatever. And I don't dare eat anything before doing that, because those bathroom issues might not be over. So depending on what the situation, just that part of it alone, for me in particular, is probably
it's debilitating.
Yes.
It's been debilitating for you.
Yeah. Brain fog. Yeah. You just, sometimes you're talking and there goes that thought. And I know everybody thinks, oh, that's natural. No, it's not natural. Like, it's beyond that. I could literally just say something and not remember what I just said. I could be like, oh, I've just got to go pick this up, or reach over to grab something and think, what was it I was going to grab? Whether my chapstick, or, when I was smoking, I'd try to light my cigarette with my chapstick. Not find your words. You know it. You see it. You know what it is, but it can't come out. Or you'll type a text and read it the next day and think, what was I even thinking? What did the person on the other end think? So I got to the point where for a few days, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I mean, not anybody of an importance anyway, because I couldn't control what was coming out of my mouth. Nothing bad, but just normal talking, just like right now. I mean, everybody's going to say, yeah, you look fine.
That's the thing about MS is people will think, oh, she looks fine.
Right.
And they have no idea what you're actually going through.
No, because they don't know what it takes for me to prepare, what medicines I have to take, what pain pills I have to take, what processes I have to go through just to do something like this. And I've heard everything from, oh, you did it to yourself because you used to drink so much, or you smoked weed in high school, or you had mono. Nobody knows. Fatigue, always. Always tired. Whether, if you notice when I hold my phone, I'm resting my hand on my leg, because if I was to hold it up like this, I could only do it for so long and I'll start shaking. So
and I know from chronic fatigue is brutal. You can have nothing else wrong with you, just have chronic fatigue, and it's debilitating.
It is. Yes, I do have insane insomnia. I mean, I've had it probably since the early 90s, but not to this extent. And I've tried every medication out there.
You have chronic insomnia. It is a sustained insomnia.
Right.
You are always in a sleep deficit. Occasionally you get exhausted and you crash out and you get a good night's sleep, but I'd say it's maybe twice a month.
Yeah. So there's that part of it, which obviously leads to, you get depressed. And I mean, like just the other day we were talking and you said to me, it just sounds like you're depressed. And I was like, I'm extremely depressed. Like, I'm stuck in this house. I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything.
You are a shut-in.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, I am.
I'm going to say right now, for the purposes of this documentary, you spend probably 90% of your life in bed. Mm-hmm. You can get up and make yourself something to eat. You can bathe. You can occasionally do things like this, but most of the time, you're basically bedbound. You were diagnosed with epilepsy.
Yes.
You were not responsive.
Well, I knew I was going to pass out. I felt it coming on. I did not know that I was going to have a seizure. I did not know I was epileptic. I just thought I was going to faint.
So throw that on the fire.
So yeah, then there's that. And then with the insomnia, I go to a sleep doctor. The first thing the doctor asks me, now this is weird, do you know if you're anemic? And I said, well, I don't eat meat very much, hardly ever. I probably am. I did my sleep study. Nothing was ever really found that I recall. He sends me to a hematologist, and sure enough, I was iron deficient, had to get infusions. And I don't know what got us talking to the hematologist about other things. And he said, let me go ahead and run some tests. Well, he ran the tests, come to find out I have a blood disorder called monoclonal gammopathy, or for short, they call it MGUS. Luckily, it's something that could become cancer. I've had multiple different things that were pre-cancer, so I just think that another PET scan should be performed sooner than later. So I am going to ask for that this week.
What else is on your list?
Neuropathy. Again, mostly on my left leg, but sometimes in both. They feel like my legs just feel like they're burning but on fire at the time, and there's no escaping it. There's no wrapping a blanket around it that fixes it. There's no put a fan on it or if that fixes it. It just kind of just goes away when it feels like going away. extremely annoying. I don't think there's really anything they could do about it. I don't even ask because I'm done with all the medication stuff. I'm not going to keep taking this for this and this for that. Sometimes the side effects from all these different medications make the illness worse, in my for me anyway. Last year, we were talking about the lesions. Something switched in my brain, and I had no will to want to eat. I didn't get hungry. I didn't want to eat. Food didn't taste good. I rapidly lost weight. I was down to 99 pounds. I think I lost like 44 pounds in like less than 3 months. Nobody could figure it out. Nobody. I had to literally force myself to eat. It was the most horrible year.
It got downright scary as hell.
Yeah.
When you hit 99 pounds, and then your gastro recommended something.
Yeah. I ended up in the hospital. I said, okay, what do we do about this weight? And he put me on a medication for anorexia.
It's an antidepressant,
It's
right?
an antidepressant. Oh gosh, why can't I remember the name of it right this minute?
I don't remember it either.
With that being said, it fixed me up, and menopause hit at the same time, and bam, weight on. Because then comes the night sweats, and that just
Epic night sweats.
aids in the insomnia part of things. I'm finally asleep. No, but then that just aids the insomnia. I'm finally asleep, and then no, I'm not. I'm drenched and I'm cold. My tinnitus, only in the right ear, so loud. And it's so loud out here right now because it's extremely quiet. There's nobody out here. All I can hear is this ringing. And it was so loud for a couple of months that I literally could not fall asleep because that's all I could hear. And it was driving me insane. That went on for about 2 months. I did the hearing test. I'm fine. I had another
They
MRI.
checked for a tumor.
Yeah, they checked for a tumor. They checked, I don't know, I think it's an AIC in the brain. I don't even know what that is, but it was fine. But I do have a very bad sinus infection, which is a whole nother story. So the tinnitus is either from the MS or it's from the sinus infection.
And Erin has almost a constant sinus infection.
Yeah.
And that's headache time.
Yes.
Because of the sinuses. Plus you get headaches anyway.
All day, every day.
Erin has a headache pretty much all day, every day. Right?
Yes. I wake up with it. I go to bed with it. I wake up in the middle of the night with them. I didn't used to wake up with that, and now I have to wake up in the middle of the night.
Tell us about the nauseousness.
Oh, gosh.
Erin's also nauseous almost all the time, every day.
Pretty much, yeah.
There are times when you'll be like, hey, I'm not nauseous, but about the time you say that, it hits again.
Yeah.
So you're nauseous almost constantly.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing that makes you feel sick and not well, that's your body's way of telling you something's wrong and will make you feel quote unquote sick.
Indeed.
So you're sick most of the time. You feel sick.
Right. I know I have inflammation. All they ever tell me is you have a lot of inflammation. I know that, but I can't do anything about it because I am highly allergic to aspirin and NSAIDs.
On top of everything else, you can't take regular pain meds.
No, I can't. So I just have to deal with all of this inflammation. I can't take anything.
No, you can't
stuck.
take an anti-inflammatory.
No, I cannot. Because I went into anaphylactic shock and I almost died the last time I did.
So
Talk about scary.
constant headache, constant stomach ache, constant pain without the ability to take a whole lot of medication for it.
Yeah, I just have to.
And that's your basic state of being.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess with the sinus infection, because over the years I've had this for so long, I'm now becoming antibiotic resistant, so the doctors won't even put me on anything anymore. The only thing they haven't tried would be to put me in the hospital and give me the intravenous, things that you can't just get at a pharmacy. And then if I get sick, they can monitor me in the hospital. That's the one thing that hasn't been tried at this point. I'm not the average everyday patient that can just take something to fix it. I can't take a lot of the MS meds because I am JC positive. I can't take anything for the inflammatory, all the inflammation because I'm allergic to NSAIDs and aspirin. It's like I can't take
And well,
anything for my hormones because I'm precancerous and family history of cancer. I just can't. I just have to deal with it and live with it.
people look at me like, why are you making her push the cart?
Because that's how I stand up.
I'm
If
like,
I
it's
try
not
to-
me.
Yeah, if I walk myself, I will fall over if I don't have something to
So
stand
you have to
onto.
lean against that cart.
Yeah.
So I'm not being unchivalrous.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So I just want to say that you're amazing. Your ability to cope with this is amazing, and I think it's actually very inspiring. If anybody out there's thinking about giving up because of all their MS stuff, get to know Erin, send her a message.